Shalom. Want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Makakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the brothers that teach this truth and sincerity. And shalom to the hopeful elect and 1/3 sincere listeners. Alright, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world ignorantly calls God. And Yahweh Shai being the name of his Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. This gospel is true. The kingdom of heaven and salvation is for the Israelites and the Israelites only. Who are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the ones scattered abroad that may look like the other nations, but your spirit resonates with this truth. You're more than most likely an Israelite, going back to one of the 12 patriarchs through lineage on your father's side. All right, kingdom of heaven salvation is for you. This video is going to be based off of this video I came across. I'm going to find the title, but long story short, it's called The Luxury Car That Scared the Police, and it's pretty much going into the history of, and it's in quotations. It says luxury in quotations, right? Because it's going to go more into the detail about why they say that, so to speak. But long story short, it's about Judah, so-called African Americans, Black Americans, buying quote-unquote luxury cars, and you'll see the specific type in a bit. Really mainly for their protection. Okay, and I don't want to give away too much, but I'm just gonna let this play, and then I'm gonna bring out scriptures. I'm gonna interject, bring out scriptures, and Lord will you be edified.
It's 1948. You're on the highway in rural Alabama at midnight. There's no street lights, there's no cell phones, and the headlights in your rear view have been following you for 10 miles. If that truck behind you decides to bump your fender and run you off the road, you only have one question left. Is this car built for style, or is it built for a war zone? If you were a black family in the South, you couldn't afford a lightweight car. You needed 5,000 pounds of Detroit steel. You needed an engine that could outrun the sheriff. You needed a bumper that could take a hit without spinning out. You didn't need a luxury vehicle. You needed a tank. So join us today while we discuss why black people love big cars. This is one of my black.
Right. So, and this is where it starts. This is where it originates, okay? Why black people love big or luxury vehicles. Okay, it has nothing to do with the flash of it, but it was about build quality and how it protected them. That's how it started. Okay, yeah. Moving on to modern times. Jake. They like flashy stuff. They like nice things, but who cares? That's in your spirit as well. Not only were you stylish, but you were protected, and they couldn't be caught up in no weak ass Chevelle. All right, let's call a bird a bird. Let's call a spade a spade. Okay, you need that big body. All right, it's gonna go into the big body as well. But in this world, Esau likes to penalize Jake for driving himself a decent car, and mind you, you can get it too, Esau, right? And the thing is with Esau, he doesn't even bat twice. He doesn't bat an eye if his co-worker pulls up in a $100,000 pickup truck. They think, oh, okay, he's not being flashy. He's a working man's truck. Mind you, pickup trucks are like 80 to 100 grand brand new. Okay, here it is. You might get yourself a sedan of some sort, something a little 3 Series or something, 3 Series BMW or something. And it's not even brand new either. You probably got a few years old, 5 years old, right? Esau. You're getting it. You're not getting it at the rate that it came out at. You're getting at the price, the depreciation price, right? You're paying for that. You're getting the quality of the car, the brand of the car that you want, right? But without paying the initial price tag, But in Esau's mind, he can't compute it. He's thinking, oh, that's a brand new car. Like, oh, what are you doing with that car? Fuck you, Esau. All right. And this video is going to go into how you just have a perpetual hatred for Jake. And that's probably what I'm going to entitle this video. Okay? But let's continue on.
Black history. And if you love stories like this, you can find more stories like this at onemikehistory.com. But without further ado, let's get started. We've all heard the stereotype. It's the joke we hear from stand-up comedy. It's the trope that's been in movies for 50 years. This idea that black folks are obsessed with big, flashy, luxury vehicles. The Cadillac, the Lincoln, the Buick. The mainstream narrative says that it's all about status, that we bought these cars just to show off, that we love shiny things, that we were trying to mimic the rich white man. But that doesn't tell the whole story. During the 1940s, a Cadillac wasn't just a status symbol for a black man, it was an armored personnel carrier. You have to understand the battlefield. In the mid-20th century, the American highway was one of the most dangerous places on earth for a black family. There were thousands of sundown towns. There was no law protecting.
Right, sundown towns, which you American, you so-called black Americans, all right, Reuben, some of you Gad that may look like Judah, and you Reubenites that may look like Judah. All right, you're caught up in this two-party system, this two-tier system, Republican, Democrat. Oh, let's vote. Oh, you should have voted this way. You should have voted that way. Did any of the parties talk about? Oh, you should be able to maneuver through any part of the nation without being targeted? Okay, in a sundown town. No, they never talked about that. Yet you wanna choose and decide, and vote and all this crap when they don't even have your best interests at heart. You as an American citizen, so to speak, you cannot just travel and pick up and go to any old town after sunset. Okay, showing you the backwards mindset, okay, of America, of you Edomites in America. Okay. Also showing you Israelites, that you're so naive, man. That you're in the land of your oppressor, you're in the land of your enemies. Okay, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be trusting in this devil. Okay.
You. In fact, the law was often the ones chasing you. So, you couldn't afford a compact car. You bought the heaviest, fastest, most durable piece of steel you could find. This was not vanity. It was the tank protocol. So first, let's talk about the hardware. During the Jim Crow era, the bump and run was a common tactic. Racist drivers would intentionally clip the back bumper of black drivers in an attempt to spin them off the road. If you were in a lightweight car, this could be deadly. But a 1954 Buick Roadmaster, that thing was a tank. It was built with heavy gauge steel. It held the road like a train. Black families knew the physics. If a confrontation happened at 60 miles an hour, mass wins. There's a reason why legendary blues singer Muddy Waters drove a Cadillac. There's a reason why Chuck Berry drove one. It wasn't just about style, it was a shield. When you're surrounded by hostility, that metal was the only thing protecting you. That heavy chrome bumper.
And here it is. This is after slavery, right? Jim Crow era, whatever. You eat them. Jake was doing what they got to do for themselves. Self-sufficient. Jake had a skilled trade. Bartered amongst each other, worked amongst each other, traded amongst each other, did business with each other, whatever skill needed to be done, made money from each other. The money circulated amongst the black community. They were just doing their own thing. Like, all right, cool, you're the devil, you don't fuck with us, cool, we're gonna do our own thing, right? And here it is, you're hating us from a mile away. Still watching Jake, seeing how they're thriving. You see what I'm saying? And you wanna disrupt that. You wanna cause hell and antagonize them. You know what I mean? But every dog has his day, man. Okay, and the scriptures speak on that, man. You're not gonna get away scratch free with all that bullshit that you was on about, Esau. Okay? The Lord sees everything that you're doing, and it's gonna come to naught. Ezekiel 35:1. Moreover, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Okay, you Edomites, and say unto it, which is you so-called white people, that's your biblical nationality, Esau, Edom, Edomites. Okay, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord God Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, And I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sit thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right? So you're a murderer. Right? You trying to run people off the road and shit like that. Okay, so the Lord seeing all that, the Lord sees all that, and he's like, okay, guess what? That's what's gonna happen to you. Okay? Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate. I will cut off from it him that passeth and him that returneth. Alright, your whole seed line. Okay? And I will fill his mountains with his slain men in thy hills and thy valleys and in all thy rivers, and they fall that are slain with the sword. And I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy cities shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Because thou hast said, these two nations and these two countries shall be mine. These two nations is talking about the northern kingdom and southern kingdom. All right. And we will possess it. And where do you possess it? Mainly in America, but all over, man. You have us captive all over the world. All right. We're the main human resource. Okay. We're the main human resource in the world, man. Everybody else is like still gets better treatment than the Israelites. Even though they're human resource, even though they're goyim and cattle, there's still a class, in the mental psyop of it all, there's still a class above the northern kingdom and southern kingdom in their mind, in their mental psyop mind. Right? It says, I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return. And ye shall know that I am the Lord thy God, because thou hast two nations. Alright? Yeah, I read that. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord thy God, I will even do according to thine anger, according to thine envy. Right? You envy us, man. You hate the way we do our thing, man. You hate our raw essence. You hate our ability to still be, positive in a negative situation. You want us to be down and out, and only you can be in a good predicament. And mind you, we're not even troubling you. We're not looking for you. We're not looking to do nothing to you. Vengeance is the Lord's, right? So we're waiting upon the Lord. But every Jake should be ready to avenge. Okay, every Jake should be ready to avenge themselves through Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But really avenge Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And then themselves. But, it is what it is. To thine envy which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them, I will make. Oh, see, this is what. Yeah, I missed it. So I was like, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel. This is what I was looking for. I was like, how the fuck did I skip this? I read the whole chapter. Like, the hell? Yeah, the main point was here, right? So Salakia, Ezekiel 35 and 5 says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Right, you forced your hate upon us, man. You have a perpetual hatred no matter what, which is fine. The Lord put it in you, that's cool, but the Lord's justified in killing you with that same perpetual hatred, man. And we're justified in hating you. Okay, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to be buddy-buddy. We're not going to be buddy-buddy with you, devil. Anyways, continuing on.
It wasn't just decoration, it was a battering ram. There's a reason why even today there's this cultural preference towards big body cars. This is generational knowledge being passed down from generation to generation. It wasn't that we didn't want to be economical, it's that we wanted to be invincible. But armor was only half of the equation. The other half was speed. In many sundown towns, the local sheriff didn't just enforce the law, he was the threat. During the mid 20th century, many rural police departments drove standard issue Fords with V6 engines. They were reliable, but they weren't very fast. Black drivers realized very quickly that if you saved up your money and bought a premium car, a Cadillac, a Packard, a Lincoln, you were buying a V8 engine that was technically superior to the police cruisers that were chasing you. There are documented stories of drivers in the Green Book who utilized the raw power of these cars not to race, but to simply outrun the threat before a lynching could happen. Thurgood Marshall, well before he was a Supreme Court Justice, when he was simply a lawyer for the NAACP.
And why, do we even have to be in that position? I'm not to say we understand we're under the curses, but even for you devils, like, why are you hating us that bad that you just want to do something to us, man? This is our way of survival. The Lord put it in an Israelite's mind to say, hey, you know what? Get this car. This is the car that you're going to need to preserve your seed line. You know what I mean? Like, this is how a lot of jakes were preserved. You know what I mean?
Drove thousands of miles through the most dangerous parts of the South to defend black clients. You know what he drove? He drove a Cadillac. He wasn't just showing off. He needed a car that could get him out of town faster than a lynch mob.
Yeah. These white devils here. You see these white devils? Now they're a lineage. They're saying, oh no, it wasn't us. It was the Jays. But it was you regular white folk. You common everyday white people. Okay, so don't run those fucking games with me, man. Don't run those fucking games with us. You can pull that psyop on little simple ass, dumbass niggas, man. We not fucking around out here, bro. We know it's you fucking devils. All right, you little weak sperm devils, man. Can't even do a one-on-one, bro. You guys are pieces of shit. All right, them lynchings that's going on in Marietta, Georgia, right now. And you know what I'm saying? That lynching that just took place a couple days ago. Oh, you gonna say it was the small hats? Nigga, that was you and your people, man. And they're gonna rule it as suicide. You're gonna gaslight Jake. Right? Okay. The Lord sees all things, man. Okay? The Lord sees everything that you devils are doing, man. You know? The Lord not fucking about, man. The Lord's gonna avenge us. Psalms 10:1. Why standest thou afar, O Lord Yahweh? Why hidest thou thyself in times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous from the Lord Yahweh abhorreth, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Yup. He's a proud man. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud, so-called white man. This is all speaking about the white man, Esau, Edom. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. Right. Your eyes are always on the poor. Who's the poor? The Israelites. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's you're always constantly set on us to try and to entrap us, fuck us up, kill us. Okay? Kill us for sport, all type of wickedness, man. But here it is, you're being exposed for being the devil you are, but people are not in no uproar because your witchcraft works so well that they still think you're the good guy in the story, right? And to the point where, Jake is still considered the negative person on the earth. When you walk past an Edomite, they're clutching the Edomite woman, she's clutching their purse past you, and you need to be watching your step from these Edomites, man. because they have the power to kill, man, and get away with it. The fuck, Jay? You know what I'm saying? Your power is 911. The police only work for white people. They don't work for black people. Okay? They don't do fuck all for black people. They don't give you justice when you need it. They can give a fuck to answer your phone call, to help you, assist you, and give you justice. Justice is not for you niggas, man, in this world. Justice is only for so-called white people in this world. Right? Let's see. Let's get this. Luke 18:2, saying there is a city in a there was a city in a city, Salakia, saying, I'll just start at 18:1. Luke 18:1, and he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray and not to faint, saying there was a city, a judge, which feared not Yahweh, neither regarded man. And there was a widow in that city, and she came unto him, saying, avenge me of mine adversary. And that city that didn't fear the Most High, I was talking about, we're really, when you think about it, Jerusalem at the time was compassed about their enemies, man. Rome, you see what I'm saying? They were under the Roman occupation, okay? And that widow now is going into, there was a widow in that city. All right, that widow is talking about Israel, man. Okay? And mainly the elect of Israel. And there was a widow in that city, and she came up saying, avenge me of mine adversary. Right, we have adversaries, man. And we're calling upon the Lord. This is a prayer to avenge us from our adversaries, our enemies. Okay? And all the wiles of the devil, all the wicked shit that he does, all the things that he thinks about, he plots on us with. Right? Avenge me of my adversary. And he would not for a while, but afterward he said within himself, though I fear not Yahweh, nor regard man, yet because this widow troubled me, I will avenge her, lest by her continual coming she weary me. And the Lord said unto her, Lord said, hear what the unjust saith. And shall not Yahweh avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? Right. We're in our enemy land. We're here waiting on our salvation, and it seems like it's been forever. It seems like it's been eternity, right? But the elect is gonna hold fast, because the elect are not slaves, man. They're not mentally slaves. The elect will never be slaves. The elect will never fit into this place. So the elect will always turn to the Most High and wait upon him for him to establish righteous order, because the elect will never be comfortable in this place, man. All the wicked shit that goes on here, man, we'd never be comfortable, man. We'd rather die. Okay? That's the mindset of the elect. Okay? I tell you that he will avenge them speedily, and it's gonna be fast. Like, when the Lord does return and make his great return, and we're gonna be like, wow, this was just a bad nightmare, man. And it's gonna be fast in the spirit, but it's gonna be, it's gonna be epic. Like, it's gonna seem like, wow, it was nothing at all to just hold fast to the Lord, man. Look what he did. I tell you that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth, right? And like I said, only the elect is gonna have that mindset. Most people don't have faith. Most people lack faith. They don't have faith. They're faithless, right? They can't see into the future. They can't see. They can't. They have no hope, right? They care what people, what the world thinks of them. Okay, all that bullshit. You know what I mean? Anyways, let's continue on.
Perform. He needed reliability. A breakdown in 1940s Mississippi wasn't just an inconvenience, it was a death sentence. That V8 engine was the mobile extraction team. Now, let's take a look at the trunk. To a white consumer, a massive trunk was for golf clubs and luggage for vacation. But to a black consumer, the trunk was a mobile logistics hub. Remember, under Jim Crow, you couldn't just stop for gas anywhere. You couldn't just stop for food. If you went to the wrong diner, you could get beaten, or worse. If you stopped at the wrong gas station, they might put sugar in your tank. So a big car, it had to be a self-contained ecosystem. That massive trunk carried extra gallons of gasoline so you could bypass the hostile town. It carried coolers full of food, famously called shoebox lunches, fried chicken and pound cake, so you didn't have to eat at just any restaurant. It carried blankets and pillows because if you couldn't find a Greenbook motel, that spacious back seat, it became your hotel room. That Cadillac wasn't just a car, it was a hotel on wheels. Inside that cabin, you could eat, sleep, and breathe without the white gaze. It was the one place in America where the rules of Jim Crow couldn't touch you as long as you continued moving. Yet, even all the armor and speed in the world wasn't enough. Sometimes you need stealth. And this brings us to one of the most brilliant black social engineering hacks of the 20th century, the chauffeur hat. You see, racism at the time was a contradiction. A black man driving a luxury car signaled that he was uppity. It made you a target. But a black man driving a luxury car wearing a chauffeur's hat? That made you a servant. Servants are invisible. Many black professionals, doctors, lawyers, business owners, would keep a chauffeur's hat in their front seat. If they were pulled over by the police in a hostile town, or they were driving in a white neighborhood, they would simply put on the chauffeur's hat.
And that goes into our forefather, our the qualities that he had that he gave unto us, and goes into supplanting, man, Jacob. Okay, and how he was able to even get the blessings. You know what I'm saying? Because we use wisdom. Let's go into and not trickery, but it's a survival tactic. Isaac's sons. Let's see. Yeah, Jacob's deception. But it wasn't even deception, man. The stolen blessing. That's all bullshit. Never stolen. It was given. All right, but this is what we do in order for our survival, man. Okay, Genesis 27 and 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, my son, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am. And he said, behold, now I am old, I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver, and thy bow, and go out into the field, and take me some venison, and make me some savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake, to Esau his son, and went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, all right, I heard thy father speak unto Esau, thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless thee before the Lord Yahweh, before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I'll make them savory meat for thy father. And you gotta ask yourself, who eats goat? I don't hear Edomites really eating goat like that. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I know about Jake. I know about Benjamin, Levi, right? There's Haitians, Jamaicans, Caribbean blacks, West Africans. West Africans love goat. You know what I'm saying? Those are all Israelites. Judah will eat it. I'm not gonna say they eat it like that. That's not their main dish. They'll eat it. You know what I'm saying? Northern tribe will eat goat too. You know what I'm saying? But when you think of, you gotta really know the mindset of our people, man, and know who's who for real, man. Who eats goat, man? Who stews down the goat, curries it down, curry stew it down, brown stew goat, whatever. It's Jake, man. All right, savory meat. You know. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. And my father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, and I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me be the curse, my son. And she didn't even get a curse for real. Only obey my voice and go fetch me them. Because this was all the will of the Heavenly Father anyways. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. His mother made the savory meat, such as his favored love. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son, right? Going into basically having that, that get up, that driver get up, the hat and the gloves or whatever, that raiment, that certain attire to blend in, you know what I mean? To become, just to blend into society, so to speak, to fit the part, to play the part. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Jake, it's called code switching. Jake knows how to code switch. Okay? Fuck, if I want to enjoy having my fucking car, I'll put that hat on for my survival. I'll be the driver. Yeah, I'm just passing along. I'm just a driver. I'm going to drop that car out. I'm going to go pick up so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. You feel me? Yeah, that's how Jake got to do. That's survival, man. You know what I'm saying? Call it finesse. In modern days, it's called finesse. Finessing. I finessed you. You know what I'm saying? You got finesse Esau. It's trick. It's like I tricked you. Finesse, supplant. That's Jacob, bro. All right. Know your people. Know the characteristics. You see what I'm saying? Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were in the house, and put upon Jacob, her youngest son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. But you can read the rest. That was just pretty much the point I wanted to bring out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's continue on.
The narrative flipped instantly. A racist officer wouldn't see a successful black man enjoying his wealth. He saw a driver taking his boss's car around for a spin, or maybe he.
And that's the fucked up thing, because it's like, Esau, nigga, this is your kingdom, bitch ass nigga. Like, you go get yourself a nice car, and why you hating on, on another man that got a car, that got a nice car? So, you know, this is how stupid the mentality of you Edomites are, because it's like, let's just say, oh, if a black man is driving a Ferrari, does that bring down the value of the Ferrari? You see what I'm saying? And if anything, it could probably increase the stock. You know, because first of all, foremost, black people are lowest on the economic scale. You know, first and foremost. So you're not really gonna see a lot of black people driving a Ferrari. Okay? But if you do see one, it's like, okay. You see what I'm saying? That's rare, but you know, okay, cool. You know? But it's like, how does that bother you? You know what I mean? It's not like every black person has a Ferrari. And even if they did, so fucking what, man? You can get one too. You know what I mean? But that's to show you the mindset of these people, man. Okay? But anyways, continuing on.
He was delivering it. This big luxury car actually helped with the lie, because in the racist mind, of course the black man couldn't own a Cadillac. He must be working for some rich, powerful white man. By playing into their prejudice, he used the enemy's arrogance as a cloak of invisibility. Now this brings us to the most interesting and wild part of this story. How do we obtain these cars? See, that wasn't easy. Many white dealerships simply refused to sell luxury vehicles to black people. They wanted to protect their brand. They didn't want their white customers to see a black man driving the same car as them. So we executed the straw man protocol. A black doctor in Atlanta couldn't just walk into a showroom. He would hire a white man. Maybe it was his friend. Maybe it was a guy who just needed $50 to go in and buy the car for him. That white guy signs the papers and the black man hands over the cash. The title is transferred later. General Motors and Ford eventually realized that all money was green. In fact, Cadillac was one of the very first brands to act.
Yeah, because you guys are dumb as fuck. You know, all money's fucking green, Esau. Money fucking talks. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna limit sales because a black person wants it. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're not a true businessman. Okay? In our kingdom, we're gonna make sure our sales is to everybody. The Israelites gonna be selling to everybody. Okay, we're gonna be the lender. Okay, we ain't gonna be no borrower. We're gonna be the lender. Everybody gonna be borrowing from us and paying them tributes and paying them taxes. Okay, we ain't gonna discriminate. We ain't gonna worry about DEI discrimination and which job is doing what. There's always gonna be a job for somebody, man. Okay, so your nations are all gonna have your place on the earth. Okay. Fucking idiots.
Actively ignored the color line because they realized that black America was the only thing keeping their brand afloat during the Great Depression. So, in the end, the next time you hear someone make a joke about black folks and big shiny things, the next time
that's and they love to use that against us, right? They love to use that against us. Oh, yeah, you my chain, or you did this, or you did that, man. That's just in our spirit, man. And we gonna definitely flex on you heathens in the kingdom for sure. Okay? Or it's okay for Moab. It's okay for Moab to have all the supercars in every major city in Toronto or wherever. Only Moab could have the nicest Mercedes and high-end BMW and McLaren and all that shit, right? That's okay. But let a nigga do it. Let a so-called black person do it. It's the end of the fucking world. Hurt your feelings. Ooh, boo, hoo, hoo. Right? Get the fuck on, man. Sometimes just a fucking car is gonna be burnt up anyways. It's gonna be burnt up in nuclear fire, or the lasers from the chariots gonna hit them up. It don't fucking matter. We're not gonna leave with these things. Who gives a fuck? See what I'm saying? That's why you're a carnal man, Esau. You're a carnal man. Okay? Alright.
See a rapper talking about his Maybach or his Rolls. Don't listen to the stereotype. Listen to the history. We didn't just buy these cars to be seen. We bought these cars to be safe. We took a symbol of American excess and we turned it into a tool of black survival. We turned a luxury sedan into a tank, a hotel, and a getaway vehicle. The road was hostile territory. The car was the only piece of home that we could take with us. That Cadillac wasn't just a ride, it was our fortress. Thank you. I'm your host, Country Boy. This has been One Black History, and this is the story of why black folks drive big cars. I like this one. This was fun. This was fun to do. It's really interesting. I like these stories where we dispel stereotypes. I'm going to try to.
Yeah, I want to end it off with one last scripture, because this is kind of going into, the Most High pretty much preserving Jake. Not every Jake was lucky, but let's see if I can get the two Bible. If I can get two Bibles up at the same time as well. Verse, format, parallel. Perfect. Yeah, I'm seeing brothers do this now, so I want to be able to do it too. All right, yeah, we live, baby. It's not what I wanted though. I thought it was Revelation. It's lock here. Let's get this from Revelation 9 and 3. Okay? And there came out the smoke, Salakia, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power. And this is going into World War I, the dogfights. So the planes that John the Revelator saw, he referred to them as locusts. And what they would do, you see, there would be like a tail end, a turret, basically, a shooter shooting at each other, both sides on during the World War One. Okay, so the Germans and the Alliance or whatever the fuck. The Germans against the like the British, Canadians, and the German, whoever, quote unquote good guys, I guess. All right, but in the midst of that, Jake was in these wars. All right, so that's what the Scorpion represents, is the fighter jets, the fighter planes, so to speak. It says, and there came out the smoke locust upon the earth, unto them was given power as the scorpions of the earth have power, and it was commanded that them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of Yahweh in their foreheads. And to them it was given that they should not kill them. So certain men would be survive the war. Long story short, certain men will survive the war. And guess what? The war didn't finish after World War II. I'm talking about our war, because we've always been prisoners of war to America, to the world, to our enemies, so to speak. Okay? So Esau trying to run us off the road, that's us still being a prisoner of war, or being in a war. Okay? It's a form of warfare. Psychological, whatever, physical, mental distress. It's still a form of war, but the Lord put it in our mind to say, you know what? Let's go get you that nice car to protect you and your family, to preserve you and your family. All right? To preserve your lineage. Subconsciously. That's how the Lord works. Right? And that's how I'm applying this scripture. It says, but they shall be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Right? And the Lord, pretty much the Lord, if the Lord needs you alive, He's gonna keep you alive. You get what I'm trying to say? If He's gonna preserve you, He's gonna preserve you. Long story short, man. And this was a form of the Lord preserving us. So shout out to Cadillac. All right. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom. Lord will you're edified, and say to the next one.